Hello all, welcome to my PHP tutorial. In this video and series of videos, I am going to talk about PHP, how to use PHP and how to write web applications using PHP. So let us start. So PHP is a server scripting language and a powerful tool for making dynamic and interactive web pages. I will give examples of PHP. See, adrevu.com is a website which is developed in PHP and Python. So if you observe here, this index.php is written in PHP and it is actually fetching the dynamic data from the server, and the data is fetched from database and then created an HTML page and then sent to the client, and the client has displayed this particular HTML. So this is a dynamic website which is developed in PHP, and also it has a server side components which are based in Python. Okay, so PHP is a widely used free and efficient alternative to the competitors such as Microsoft ASP and Java server pages, or Python, or any other web web-based application development. So let us actually see easy learning with PHP. So here you will have a try it yourself, where you can actually run it and then your first page will be displayed. We will also do this in our local setup for our testing purpose. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to install XAMPP and then configure. I have created a video for installing and configuring the XAMPP. It will install Apache, MySQL, um, Perl, and Tomcat. Also, it will be installed in this particular server. So my suggestion is to install it and configure it, and then go through my videos to configure it. Okay, so I will also start the control panel of XAMPP. Exam control panel, okay, which I will use for training purpose, and we will go through the development of a full stack web applications using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SQL, Python, and MySQL. So in this tutorial you will actually get, okay, so you will get experience on learning developing a dynamic website using Python. So PHP as well as Python. Also go through my other tutorials for Python, and go through other tutorials. So I will also give a trainings on Tomcat, where you can actually learn to develop full stack development using the Java. So I will show you my local setup. Local setup is in you go through my videos on exam. If you watch my videos, you will have that, which is installed in 127.0.7. Okay, XAMPP is installed. MariaDB, which is a MySQL database, and PHP. Perl is also installed. Actually, I have installed Python also in the same setup. So you have done it. So let us actually do this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to you can install any of the editors, either visual source code, or anything, or I use a sample notepad, or you can use PyCharm also. Okay, so I use sample. Okay, PHP tutorial is there. Let me see that tutorial. And I will create PHP. All my files I will keep it here, and then this is test1.php. Okay, so this is a PHP file. Let us save this as a PHP file. Okay, let us save this as a PHP file. So this is a test1.php. Okay, so if you run it right, if you see, okay, then what I'm going to do is, I will save this file in our Python XAMPP folder, which is htdocs, and I will keep this in a PHP test. Okay, I will keep this in a PHP test folder, and then I will add it as a this one, right? So if I test this, right, so I test my first PHP script as generated in the W3 schools. Similarly, if I test in my local setup, PHP test slash, so this is PHP test is the place where I created the directory, right, in the server, and then test1.php, and I actually typed it, and what is this? This is not HTTPS, right? So let us remove this. You see, my first PHP script has executed. Okay, so we are running this we are running this in, try it yourself, as well as we will run in other in our local setup. Okay, so I have created uh, Python uh, my exam install. So I will show you the video where you need to actually go through the XAMPP installation, right, which is available in you have a lot of okay, I will install configure git this one. So Python video tutorial, install configure XAMPP, this video, okay, which you want to uh, you want to install, go through it, go through my videos, Python video tutorial in in how to in how to tutorials channel, whatever you are seeing, right. I will add the text also here for a video tutorial for exam install and configure. Okay, so you will get it. So you will be able to install configure, and then okay, we will I will explain, I will use W3 tutorials to explain the concepts of concepts of PHP, and also I will go through syntax, forms. I will go through the file handling, and I will go through the OOPS concepts, and also how to connect to the database, and then get the data, and some of the advanced concepts if required we can actually go through for you, for your better understanding. So what you should already know, better go through HTML, CSS and JavaScript. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, these tutorials. Soon I'm going to create those videos also. If you have if you have not gone through, better go through this and also MySQL. Better go through these tutorials, and then I will actually explain about how can you develop a dynamic website using the PHP. Okay. So PHP is a what is PHP? PHP is a hypertext processor preprocessor. It is used OpenScript language, and it is executed on server. As I mentioned, is a you can utilize and free to use that one. So PHP can contain text, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP code. The file, right? PHP file, right? And the extension should be a PHP, and when executed, the result you should return in HTML for the client to understand. Okay, so for the client to understand, you need to return. So what you can do, as I mentioned, can generate dynamic page, can create, read, write, delete, close files on servers, collect the data, send and receive cookies, add, delete, modify data in the database. I mean, it can do many things. Okay, control user center and encrypt data, right? So PHP runs on multiple platforms: Windows, Linux, Unix, Mac, many platforms, and it is compatible with almost all servers used today. It can run in Apache or IIS or any other web server. Supports wide range of databases. Currently, we use MySQL, and PHP is a free. Download it, and you officially get it from php.net, and you can learn it and use it. Okay, so version you can get it the latest version from PHP server. Current stable is 7, but there are other versions are also there. Uh, what do I need to do? Find a web host with PHP and MySQL support. So what you need to do? You install your XAMPP. Okay, the way I mentioned, right? Um, Google and XAMPP. Okay, install XAMPP. Okay, install XAMPP. Not in Ubuntu. I think we can install in XAMPP in Windows, right? Windows, download and install. It is easy to install. It will not take much time to install. So download and install. Configure it as per the steps mentioned, or go through my video for installation configuration, and then set up PHP. As I mentioned, install the web server, PHP database. So if you install example, all these things will come. You know, um, if you want to, run it as a script, then you have to run it as a script in your, you can run, right? But my our focus will be on web development, so we will work on that web development. Okay. So basic syntax will be, you have to utilize you have to use in the you starts with less than question mark PHP and a question mark greater than. So entire code should be in this. Okay, entire code should be in that, right? You see in the script, entire PHP code should be. So to for the PHP to run, it should be like this. Okay, the script should be in that. As we have seen, right? MySQL first page PHP. Okay, we have executed this, and okay. So it is a case sensitive. So all reserved words should be in a lower case. Okay. And classes, functions, and user defined functions are not case sensitive. Okay. So like this, you can keep it capital also. It will work. Okay. So this is the HTML part, and then our scripting is starting, and we are actually declaring a variable with the red, and then this is the string manipulation or string concatenation. String concatenation will be used with dot, and variable is with the dollar, and then we are using the HTML tag to display it. So this is how it will display right? So you need to understand this. And then comments. How do we comment? You can use the C style comment, like C and C plus plus slash slash you can use, or you can use the hash in the comment, or slash star and end with the star slash, like a C style comments. So these are all valid, you can utilize them. And for single line you can use slash slash also, right? And at the end also you can use. So when you are writing the code, you ensure that a proper comments are added. So if you want to add multi-line, simply use that slash star and slash star slash and the context in. So if you are familiar with the C style coding, it will be easy for you to write this code. Okay, so you can also add in this in middle of the expression, but the recommendation is not to do it. Okay, right? So then creating the variables. How do we declare a variable? See, in PHP, variable starts with the dollar sign followed by name of the variable. Okay, so like this, dollar sign equal to and a dollar. You see, dollar y equal to John. It is taking time. So in this above example, dollar and then variable name, and you need to use a proper variable name convention to declare a variable. I think we will know what are the rules for the variables. A variable starts with the dollar sign, and a variable must start with a letter or a underscore character, and then it cannot start with a number, and a variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores, and a variable name is a case sensitive, and dollar small letter age and dollar small letter age capital letter age are different. Output variables. How do we have to output the variable? We have to use echo. You see here. So these are the variables declared, and then you have to use echo, and then the corresponding value is displayed here. Okay, so we are using, we are assigning the value, and then we are echoing. Okay, this is how a variable is declared. And example, right? You can try out yourself all these examples. Come to W3 schools and try out all this. So this is very important. PHP is a loosely typed language. That means in C, C++, or right, you have to declare a variable, right? And that type is attached to that particular variable. But here, based on the data you assign to that particular variable, the corresponding type will be assigned. So in the above example, notice that we did not have to tell PHP which data type the variable is. PHP automatically assigns a data type a variable depending on its value. Since the data types are not set in the strict sense, you can do the things like adding a string to an integer without cascading, causing an error. So we will learn more about strict and non-strict requirement. We will see that, I think, in the functions. So you see here, $x is equal to 5 and $y equal to John. Both we have not declared any variable, but we have assigned a value. So that means this has automatically taken it as an integer, and this y is automatically taken it as a string. Okay, and PHP supports the following data types: string, integer, float, boolean, array, object, null, and resource. Okay, so how do you get it? You get it through the where underscore dump. Okay, you get that. Okay, what is the data type? Then you will get the value of type integer with 5. Okay, so assign string to a variable, as I mentioned, if you keep that in quotations, that will become a string variable. So you can assign multiple values with the equal symbol, but you ensure that a semicolon is given at the end of each statement. That is very important. Okay, like in C language, you have to assign a semicolon at the end of each statement. So what are the variables? Any programming language we will have to work with the variable scopes. So it will have a local, global, and static. Local means that is actually within that particular scope, which is actually within that parenthesis or bracket or whatever area. Global means that variable is accessible across all the functions. So here in this case, this is declared outside. So that means it is a global scope, and this value is accessible in the function. Okay, this value is accessible in the function. Okay, and if it is local, see this is the local variable, and if you want to try to print this x, it will actually not print. Usually it will in the latest versions, usually it will give a error or warning in the server. Okay, so now it is printing the value. So global keyword you can utilize, then you can use that as a local variable, global variable within the function. You see, you are actually utilizing that global variable to differentiate. So be careful when you are actually doing that. You can also use it as a globals with the globals of y, globals of x plus globals of y. Okay, and then that value is assigned to, you see, globals, dollar globals of y. Okay, you can utilize this also, but maybe if you confuse, maybe you can avoid this one. So static is a you know a variable which is within that particular function, and then which will hold the value even if you come back call that function multiple times. Okay, so that value will stick to that within that function. Okay, so that is the static. Here if you see, right, you declared it as a local variable, but you declared it as a static. Then you are displaying, and then whenever you are calling, you are incrementing. So each call that value is incrementing, but its value is sticking to that function, and then whenever you call that function, the upgraded value of this static value will be used. Here in this case we are calling three times, so this function is called 0 first time, second time it is incremented by 1, and third time it is incremented by 1, so it is actually showing a 2. Okay, so that is the PHP echo and print statements. Echo, you can utilize echo to display the text. Let us use this one. You can add multiple with the comma, or you can add with the dot to print it, or you can utilize some HTML okay, text within the HTML tags, which will display in your server. And if you want to test it in our right sample test program, let us save it in our PHP text in our htdocs, and then let us call that function, and which will display PHP is fun h2, and hello world, I am about to learn PHP. So you got it right, how to do it. Okay, so let us move forward. If you want to display the variables, how do you want to display? You see, we have declared variables $text1, and then assign value with learn PHP $text2 and w3schools.com, and then we are displaying h2 in text1, and then PHP at we are keeping this. So let us actually test in our test program, right? In our test program we can do this and then run it. Okay, what do you want to do? We want to test that, right? So let us test. See, learn PHP, correct? So we are learning it one by one concept with other concept. Using single quotes, how do we use it? See, dot is the concatenate operator. Okay, so what I will explain what is this. So this is the tag we are using, and then dot, and then variable declaration, and then dot, and then s2. This is the tag, and then we are using the string, and then dot, and then concatenate, and then dot, and then tag, which is the paragraph. Okay, if you run it, it will display learn PHP, which is the first variable value, and then w3schools.com. Okay, with the start PHP at w3schools.com. Okay, so um, this is how you need to run that. You can also use print statement instead of echo. Okay, if you see it here, print, because you have not terminated with any break or a new line, it is printed hello hello together. So how do we do that? With the same echo, you can utilize a print also, and then in the print you can utilize the way you utilized as the echo, right? Echo you can use or print. I mean, there is not much difference. You can use either one, single quotes or double quotes. When using the double quote, variables can be inserted to the string as in the example above. When using the single quote, variables have to be inserted using the operator like this. Okay. So know the difference. Come to here and then experiment. So now we are coming back to data types. Data types. See, I am actually giving all these tutorial in one shot. If you want, you take a break and then practice and then come back to this step. I could create, step by step or each concept with one video, but I want to make till introduction till regular expressions in one video, and then forms in another video, and then uh, oops in one video, and then databases in another video, XML or other concepts in other videos. Okay, so let us come back to the data types. Data types can store different types. As I mentioned, you don't have to declare them, but PHP supports string, integer, float, boolean, array, object, null, and a resource. So if you want to get the data type, you can use where dump and understand what is the data type. Okay, and PHP string, how do we declare? As I mentioned, in double quotes or single quotes, it is considered it as a string. Integer, okay, then integer is a non-decimal number, and it is depending on the uh, bits or the integer range of the particular laptop. Okay, so you can make it a base 10 or base 16, base 8 or base 2, but usually it is base 10. Okay, float value is a with the decimal value, and boolean will contain true or false. Boolean you can assign true or false and compare, and arrays you can declare with the array, right, with multiple values. Okay, and then you can declare array with multiple values and display that particular PHP object. You can create a class, right, class, and then you can declare the object, and you can methods with the construct, and then declare and use that objects. So we will discuss that object, how to create a class and create the object, how to use them in the OOP concepts. PHP null is a you know null pointer object. Okay, it doesn't have any data type associated with the. So you can assign any data type, and then it will become that particular type, or you can actually convert from one data type to other data type also using the concatenation, which you can discuss. Int you can use, int you can float, string. Okay, So like that you can change it. So this is a important concept, PHP strings, and in your web programming, PHP strings is will play a very crucial role in your PHP programming. So you can use a single quote and double quote, and you should understand what is the difference. Let us actually, so this variable x is John, and then we are using the in the double quote, but we have kept a variable inside the quote. So what will happen? This will be replaced by the value which is there in the $x. You see, $x contains John. That John has been replaced and concatenated and displayed here. Hello, John is displayed here. Okay. So come and experiment this concept repeatedly for you to understand. You see, in the single quote, if you use a variable, it will not change the value. Okay, so you have to be careful. You have to utilize it as a dot concatenate in the single quote. So you can use several string functions are there which you can use, like in C language. Similarly, you have many functions are there: string length, and then string word count, and then string position. Okay, like that there are several functions you can use that, and then so you can modify string upper, string to upper, string to lower. There are several string functions are there, like str replace. If you use the word and Dolby and X, it will replace. Let us try this. You see, hello world is replaced with Dolby. So in our web programming, string replaces with the function which we will use it very extensively. Okay, for we create a template of HTML, and then in the template of HTML we create the dynamic value, and then we replace that with the dynamic value, and then we send that particular generated HTML to the client. String reverse. So there are many functions. If you want remove white spaces, trim is there. Convert string to array is there, which will actually printer will print the arrays. So there are many. So how do we concatenate the strings? You have to use dot to concatenate. You see, dot. Okay. In other programming language, it will have a different, but here it is a dot. So you will use dot very extensively, so understand it. And if you use it like this, it will not concatenate, right? It will replace $x with hello and space, and $y with the world. Okay, like this space. So now how do we slice the strings? Substring, it will actually check for starting from the index 6, and then it will display. Okay, and then slice to the end starting from at the index, and it will display -5, using the native index to start the slice from the end of the string, and then how many characters, negative length, use negative length, specify how many characters to omit. Okay, at the end, right? So these are the string manipulations. You go through this and practice it. So escape characters, if you use like this, what will happen? This will be error. Double quote within that another double quote. Okay, but you have to have, if you want to keep that double quote, then you have to use the escape like this. Okay, then it will actually display with the string. So be very careful on this escape characters, and go through the carriage return, back, tab, form feed, new line, right, and pay variables, all those things. Okay, so good, we are actually progressing very well with PHP programming, and everything is smooth. Hope you are all following. And now PHP numbers. In this we have integer, float, and number strings, and then we have a infinity and NaN. Okay, So let us let us understand the data types. See here we are assigning integer, assigning the value of float, and assigning the value of string. And the check what are the integer, what are the types. You see it is displaying the corresponding type. Okay. So you can get that you can check is integer, is long, is int. You can verify the is int PHP floats following predefined. There are predefined PHP float max min, right, and then decimal digits. Okay, epsilon. So all those things are available. You can use a predefined is float. A numeric value that is larger than float is considered infinite. So it can verify whether infinite or is finite or infinite. Nan stands for not a number. You can verify is it nan or non, is nan, right? And then numerical strings. This numeric function can be used to find whether the variable is a numeric. This function returns true if the numeric number is a numeric. Okay. Okay, it is true. This is numeric. And this is also true. This is string. Okay, so like this. So you can use, we declare this as a, float, but we are converting this into int, right, into cast value. Cache means converting from one data type to other data type. So you can use a string, int, float, bool, array, object, unset. Cache to string we have seen. How do we cast it? Okay, and then cache to integer you can use integer, float you can use float, boolean you can use boolean, and array object cast. So practice it, you will be able to use it in your programming. So there are predefined functions are there which you can utilize, that is min, max, pi. Okay, all these functions you can utilize them in your programming. Pi is there, min, max, and absolute. Okay, and then square root, and then round, and then random, and then okay. So there are complete math reference. You can go to this math reference, and you can all set of mathematical functions are here which you can use it, and the constants are also there. You can actually detailed understanding, go to that particular section and then understand it. Okay, now PHP constants are um, like variables, except once they are defined they cannot be changed or undefined. Okay, so PHP constant, you use it to define variable with the case and a value name case sensitive or not, w3 schools. So this value is defined, and then you can start using that in your program. Okay, whenever you want to a fixed value which should not be changed, you can actually utilize even the arrays also, global also you can have it. So PHP has a 9 predefined constants that can change value depending on whether they are used, and they are called magic constants. These magic constants written in double quotes and double underscores at the start and at the end, except with the class name class. So these are magic constants, and it can be changed. Okay, this class name is returned, it will change automatically. Okay, these underscore line underscore file is it will automatically display which line it is. All those things are static. Okay, but it will be displayed, updated, and displayed at that particular line. Now we are into the operators. Excellent. So PHP has operators, arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison operators, increment decrement operators, logical operators, string operators, array operators, and conditional assignment operators. Okay, let us see. Arithmetic operators, we all know addition, subtraction, multiplication. We just need to give a variable and the operator and then the second variable. Division, modulus, that is remainder, and then exponential. Okay, you want to check it, you try it, and then you will get that, 16. So like this you can verify and then practice. Assignment operator equal to, plus equal to, that means x equal to x plus y, minus equal to minus x equal to x minus y, like this, plus star equal to, slash equal to, slash equal to. That is same as the previous one, but it reduces the number of characters in the programming. And comparison operators, equal to you will use double, equal to, identical you will use triple. That means if both are same. Not equal to, you can use less than and greater than, or not equal to, exclamation and equal to. And not identical, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Returns an integer less than or equal to or greater than 0, depending on if x is less than, equal to, or greater than y. So you can utilize this when you want a specific, but usually we don't utilize that one. PHP increment decrement operators are there. Plus plus will increment, pre-increment, $x plus is a post increment. That means increment value and assign value. Plus plus means assign a value and increment, like that. And minus minus x and $x minus minus. Logical operators you can use and dollars. It's a condition, right? And means true true will become true, true false will become false, false true will become false, false false will become false. And or means true true will become true, or true false become true, or false true become true, false false will become false. Like that, exclusive or. Either of them should be true, then it will be true. Okay, and I can also use ampersand or vertical bars, and not will be, okay, question mark of exclamation mark of the variable will become, you can use that. Okay, PHP string operators, concatenating is a dot, concatenate assignment is a dot equal to, the way assignment it will append text2 to text1, and then entire value will be assigned to the $text1. You want to see it? Text1 is yellow, text2 is world. Now text1 dot equal to is text2, then text1. Then what happens is text2 value is assigned to text1. Text1 will become hello world after that executing that particular statement. And array operators, we know both plus equal to, it will union, and then equal to, it will verify both the same key value pairs, and an identity not equal to, PHP conditional, then we have a conditional expression, right, in C, like that. You can utilize null coalescing means returns the value of $x. The value of $x is expression 1 if expression 1 exists and is not null. Okay, if expression does not exist or not null, then the value of $x is expression 2. Okay, so if it is true, first it will assign, otherwise the next one will be. Let us try example. Okay, so echo, we are actually getting that value from the form echo, right? And then otherwise, if it is not there, anonymous. Okay, we want to test it in our program. Let us see that. Okay, so if we don't use anything, it will display anonymous. Otherwise, if you give a value with the user, what is the user value, some test, then test will display. Okay, so if test is there, user name value pairs, that will come. Otherwise anonymous will come. Hope you understand this. Okay, we are going through good concepts and learning with examples. Now, I wish you wanted to take a break. You take a break and then come back after 5 minutes. And this is another important chapter. You want to learn it. So PHP if statements, conditional statements, if else, and switch statements. So if and a condition, then the corresponding statement will work. You see, if 5 greater than 3, then echo, then have a good day is displayed, right? Like that. Example, we have seen, right, this one. Then comparison operators. We have seen what are the comparison operators, right? Equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. You can use them and then. So here 14, the value of variable is 14, and then we have assigned a value of 14, and then this comparison operator is true, and then this particular statement got executed, okay, and then displayed. You can check in, save in our server and then test your web programming. So you can test all these in your program. Okay, I will just see this only one or two. In the comparison operator, we have given 100, and then we are comparing greater than or equal to y. And then you see it is $x is greater than or equal to y, and then it is displayed. Okay, so that is the. So I suggest you come here and then test all these and then try. Logical operators is ampersand, right? That means condition 1 and condition 2, if they are true, then only it will true, right? A greater than B, so 200 is greater than 33, that is right. And $A less than C, 500, 200 is less than, so both conditions are true, and we have given. Let us give, for example, 100 and then run, then nothing will display, right? That is how it is. So there are operators we have seen, and ampersand. You can use or double R, right? You can test another example. Here we are given, if this is true or this is true, then the corresponding any of them is true, it will execute. You see, that is why it has executed this function. So come back and then test this, try yourself, or watch my videos and then come back here. Okay. So this is $A is equal to 5, and then we have given, we are verifying 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. So here $A equal to 5, and then that will be true, and then it will be successful and will display. Then we have only seen if statement. Let us see if else statement. So the syntax is else. Okay, else and then else. If this condition fails, the else part will be executed. Okay, so let us test this one. Okay, if x less than 20, then have a good day, otherwise have a good night. Okay, what is the value? Date of x. So based on our time, it will display, right? What is the value of time? Echo $t, right? And we have to use this semicolon. What is the value of time now? Which is based on the server, W3 server. So 03, that means good day. It is morning time for this server, okay, where this server is running. If else, that means if that condition is failed, then this will come to this condition, and that also fails, it will come to this condition. Okay, else part. Okay, so let us test this one for your understanding. $T is what is the value of is a 10 hour, and then we'll give you the following message. You see 10, right? 10 means t is less than, this is a good morning, that is not correct, and this is less than 20, that means good day. So that is why the second part, else if part, is executed. Okay, so for example, $t is, instead of getting the time, let us assign value of 6. Then first statement should execute. Have a good morning. Let us give 12. Then it is first statement failed. So we have not entered the semicolon. We need to enter. First statement failed. It comes to the second statement, good day. Then it is 22. Then let us see what is that. Have a good night. Oh my god. What is this? Semicolon is going. Now it is good night. Okay. So that is how if, else, else if, and else will work. And you can also create shortened form like this. That is fine. It doesn't make any sense. If you want, it is a conditional operator we have seen, right? This is the conditional. If this condition is true, then this particular value will be returned. Otherwise, this particular value will be returned. This is called conditional operator. And a nested if. That means if statement within if statement. I mean, this is not complex. If this condition is true, then it is inside this particular, and then we can add. We can add infinite number of nested ifs, but for the sake of your understanding and program readability, keep it very simple. So always your program should be KISS, that is keep it simple. Okay. So another important function is switch. It is actually available in C language or in other programming languages. So let us switch statement selects one of many blocks of the code to be executed. So the syntax should be switch and expression, and then label 1, label 2, label 3, and each label should be broken with the break statement, and then you can write a code inside the block, and then default. So this is the syntax, and then let us run with the some example. Okay, dollar, this is the red. So now favorite color is the variable, right? And then based on, see, in a C language, it is limited to the integer. Here it can be any type. Okay, switch, and if it is matching, it will be working. Okay, here red, blue, green, and then remember each block should be with the break statement, and we have assigned red color, and that is why it is matching and displaying. You can also group them and then match it. Okay, if you don't break it, it is called group. Okay, if you can, then both statements will be printed, even if it is red. Okay, blue also will be printed. It should be broken, otherwise the next statement will default. If any of them not met, then it will go to the default. This is 6 and 0 not met, that's why it has gone to the default. So if you want, you can actually keep it a common value, and then so whenever the case matches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the corresponding block will be executed. Okay, so that is all about switch, and then we are actually going on to the important topic of loops, which we will use in Python or PHP programming extensively. So PHP loops, often you write the code, you want to repeatedly execute that particular block multiple times. So you can use any of these while, do while, for each. Okay, so let us go through one by one. PHP while loop. So what we are going to do is, which is actually while and then condition, and then so this is similar to your C language if you are already familiar with. So we have assigned a variable equal to 1, and then we are actually going into the condition, and then we are repeating, right? And we are repeating with let us break it. Do you want to break it with what? Backslash n, right? Want to break it? You break it with backslash n. Okay. Actually, this is here. Here it will work. See, this is a HTML tag break. Okay, we are using that. So now a break statement, if you want to break it at particular 1, 3, right? 1 and then break. As soon as it reached 3, we have exited from this loop. That is a break. Okay, we are not continuing inside the loop. If you use continue statement, then that particular value will not be statements after this loop will not be executed, and the entire thing will go back to the loop and then condition. So here we are ignoring that value when it is 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are printed. Repeatedly test it and you will understand. So end while, right? So the while loop syntax can also be written with the end while statement like this. End while. Okay. Earlier we have used bracket parenthesis, right? Flower brackets. Without that also you can use colon and then end while. Both are same. So you can then step 10. If you want the while loop count to 100, but only each step, what you need to do? You increment that with 10. This is example. Okay. So now we are using another. So in the while loop, first condition will be tested, and then statements will be executed and then go back to the condition. In the do while, first statements will be executed and then condition will be checked, and if condition fails, it will be exited. Okay, so that is the difference between while and do while. Okay, so here we are actually less than 6 initially. So even though I is equal to 8, but it will execute, okay, and then it will exit from the loop, okay, because 7 is less than 7 is greater than 6, that it has failed. So you can utilize the same as the while loop break statement. So if you use the break statement or loop, okay, it will break, and if you use continue, it will continue. Ignore all the statements after that particular statement, and then go back to the condition. Okay, so now you have used do while for statement. For is similar to the C language. For expression 1, expression 2, it is a comma here. In C you will use the semicolon, and expression 3. Okay, and then here also you can use a semicolon, similar to that, but comma also you can use. Try this one. So for x is equal to 0, x greater than less than or equal to 10, and x plus plus. So the value will be incremented and then till 10, and then when it reaches 11, the loop will exit. Otherwise it will print all the numbers. And you can use the break statement to exit from the loop, or you can use the continue statement without executing the rest of the statements, and then go back to the condition. Okay, so and then you can increment x plus step increment in the third increment. Earlier we are using, we step increment with the 10, 100, 20, whatever. Okay, so earlier in C language we know while, do while, for loop, but in the Python you have a for each. So that means for each object you can utilize. So this is the syntax: for each dot colors as dollar. So that means each value will be assigned to this particular variable, and then you can print it. You see here, for each. of colors as $x. That means for each value which is assigned to here, that particular value will be displayed. Okay, and then members as $x, name value pairs, right? For name value pairs, you can utilize this and then you can print map to that each one and then display. Go through, you can also do that in objects. Okay, so you can also use that break statement and continue statement. So while looping through the array items, by any chance done to the array item will be default, not affect the original array. Okay, so for each colors, $x is equal to blue, $x is equal to pink. Okay, so then these values will be changed. Here in this loop it will be, but if you go out, the value initial values will not be changed, but inside it will. Okay, so if you assign the reference, then if you change it, the corresponding value will be changed. Okay, understand that. So we have used a break in for loops. I don't have to explain. We have used for loop continue also in each and every loop. Okay, if you want to ignore the rest of the statements and go to the condition, you can use. Or if you want to come and try, come to this section and then experiment. Okay, if you want, you can take a break, pause the video, and then come back to the PHP arrays. So PHP real power page comes with the functions. PHP has more than 1000 built-in functions, as well as you can also create your own functions. So how to create a function? You use this function and a function name, and then with parenthesis you will understand, or and lower bracket and then statement. Okay, and then you can call this function, right? You have created a function, it should be within the PHP and function, and you are calling this function, you see. So, and you can pass the arguments, right? And you can use those arguments, you see. Here you declared a argument fname, and then you are passing that argument, and then you are printing that particular fname. Okay, so you can have multiple arguments with fname and here, and then the particular function call, and then you can, so you can also assign a default. If you don't pass any argument value, here we are not passing any argument, then by default it will take minimum height and then it will display. Here the second one we have not passed, so 50 minimum default value is displayed. You can use this whenever you want to utilize. So there is a return, so return $z. Okay, so this function is a sum of $x and $y, and z is a local variable $x, $y, and then we are returning z. Okay, and then we are returning sum of 5, 10. That means it will display the sum of those two values. Passing arguments by reference. If you pass by reference, then particular values also will be changed. You don't have to return, right? You see here it is changed and it is displayed here. So variable number of arguments, you have to use $x, and then you can pass as many, and then you can get the number of and then you can uh, display, you can add all those values and then display. So this is a concept which you need to practice it multiple times to understand. Usually we will not use this, but in the complex project developments we will use this one. Okay, so as it is mentioned, you have to use the data types extensively and very carefully. So let us come back to the arrays. To use arrays, you have to utilize array and then all the values. Okay, the three parameters it has declared. So indexed arrays, associated arrays with the named keys and a multi-dimensional arrays. So you can create arrays, access arrays, update arrays, add array items, remove array items, sort items, right? So array, and then you can have a multiple data types also, no problem. But you can have a multiple array functions. Okay, count of, then it will give the values, count of variables. Okay, so then indexed arrays, that means how do you do it? Cars of 0, then you will get indexes are from 0 to n minus 1. So cars of 0 will be dollar, cars of 0 will be Volvo, and cars of 1 will be BMW, and cars of 1 will be Toyota. Okay, for 3 items, index, maximum index is 2. So you need to remember that the index is from 0 to n minus 1. You can change the value. Okay, with the cars of 1 equal to 4, and then if you display that, it will display where dump all the values. So loop through the index. We have seen, right, in earlier for loop. So for each dollar $cars as $x, or you can also use for and then a number and then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So index numbers you can use it for each. So you can push it and then you get another value inside that. Associate errors, that means maps, right? For brand, the value is Ford model Mustang. So like this, maps you can use associate errors which are mapped to a particular, a value is mapped to a particular key. Okay. So and then cars of model, then the corresponding value will be displayed. Okay. So that is how the associate errors. So you can change that value of the associate array. Okay, and then you can use for each, and then cars as a value, and then you can display. We have seen that, and come here and then uh, execute. So how to create arrays? We have seen arrays, and then we can actually assign without array also, and then you can also use multiple lines with this with the bracket. Okay, you can also use comma. Array keys, as we have seen, right? Map, okay, 0, 1, 2 also we can use, or mapping associated arrays. Okay, we can declare a empty array and assign key values to there later also. Okay, access array items, how do you do that? A variable name with the index, you can access it and you can utilize that in your program. Similarly, you can use single quotes, double quotes with accessing the values. You can use that in the functions. Loop through associate errors. Let us test this. Loop through the associate. So dollar $car as $x and $y, and we are printing x and y, and we are printing brand and Ford for each one. You see, so that will work in the associate error way. So PHP update error items. You change it, it will update. Okay, you here Volvo, BMW, Toyota, then we changed it with Ford and it has changed. You can update in each loop also. Each one you are updating, each one is updated with Ford, you see. So I mean you can do with other programming, right? Okay, so be careful and then understand. And array items, you can add two array items. How do you do it? How do you do it? Plus, you have seen, right? Fruits, orange is added. Okay, you can add at the end also. So you can remove that array items at particular position. Array splice cars one, and then that is removed. Array splice is use that word to use that function to remove that particular item. Unset, you can also use unset function to delete the existing array items. So you can remove the first one, then it will only print, okay, the available one. You can use the remove that particular thing. You can remove multiple from 1 to 2, array splice, okay, and set multiple things. So you can remove the associated error with that particular associated value model, right? If you see this, here we are removing that particular second item, and then it is displaying only 2. So array def, you can use it, remove array pop function removes the last item of the array. Remove array shift will remove that first item. So there are functions, you can use them, and then uses. So there are functions available in array. You can use sort, ascending order sort, or sort decreasing order according to the key value, okay, ascending descending according to the value, according to the key value. So you can use many functions. Come back here and then run it. Okay, I will not go through all these things. You come back here and then execute. Multi-dimensional array, as we have seen, we can create this one, array and then array within array. 0 of 0 contains array. So that is actually a 0 of 0 is values, right? 0 of 0 is Volvo 22, like this, okay. So multi-dimensional array functions, many functions are there. Array is a create array, lot of functions are there. You come back, array fill, array jing, array fill, array flip, flips exchange all key items associated values. So many functions are there. Search is there, reverse is there, splice, sum is there, some of the values in the array. So there are many functions are there. Sort, count of, end, search the value, okay. So there are many functions which you can use it. So there are predefined global variables which you can use them, which is as set variable as globals. Underscore server, okay, what is the server, and underscore php, you use this as the whenever you are using, right, your request when you are web programming, you can do that. Underscore php to you get that name value parameters in your post method. Underscore get, you use it actually to get that in the name value parameters in your get method. Underscore files and underscore environment. Underscore cookie will actually give the value which is associated with the cookie, and underscore session which is actually is available in a. So let us see what is the value, okay. So in this only let us see echo dollar session, right. Echo, is it there? Sample, no, it is not there. We will give a few things. Echo get, we have already seen in this example only. Dollar underscore request. Okay, dr. We will see what is the value under cookie value. You can set cookies and then test. What is the mistake we have done in 14? Echo. ECHO. My keyboard has some problem, so bear with me. Now we are testing. What is that variable? Should be there, right? Echo. Actually, this is a variable. So my bracket is not working. You see, like this we have to utilize. Okay, dollar request name and echo. So whatever we actually get it, right? Name value parameters. Let us test now. Okay, these are the name value parameters which we actually get it. We will we will see when we are making form development. We will work with all these get post request when we are working in the form handling. Okay, it is showing. So what is that we need to do? Globals, we know, and then my function, a global, we have already seen it. Okay, let us see what is the server. Okay, now example, try it yourself. Okay, so this is the server. So let us test in my program. Okay, and then we will see what are the values in my server. Okay, which is not available. This is the local, right? And the parameters are all there. So let us actually, all these you can print, and then request. So let us, this is the form which I told you we will learn later, but let us see what is this we want to, display. But demo request.php is required, you know, to have this. Let us test this because when you are developing the form, right, we will explain more. But as a sample, you see this has displayed, okay, like this. We will go through more a little later. Request with the get set parameters, you know, like this. Okay, you'll get it. Get set we will discuss in the form. When we are posting, it will be HTTP HTML forms. So you post that with the name value pairs, name, input name and value, you submit it, and when you post it, you can get that with the underscore post and a value. Okay, we will use that extensively in our form posts, but let us understand underscore get, which will be name value parameters. Subject is PHP, web is these are the name value pairs, and when you get it, it will actually work like that. Okay. So I think the last chapter is a regular expression, and a regular expression is a sequence of characters that forms search pattern. And when search of data in the text, you can actually search a pattern, and to describe what you are searching for, you need to return. Okay. For example, you are returning W3 schools with the I as a modifier. Okay. Next, I is a delimiter with the is a pattern that is being searched, and I is a modifier that makes the case sensitive. Case instance too, right? May change. So it is a text pattern. A match all, or replace. Okay. So use this is the pattern. Visit W3 schools, and then this is the pattern. Pattern is slash W3 schools slash I. Okay. And then let us try this one. Okay. Match. It is matching, right? Okay. It is returning true. Returning 1. Match all and replace. Okay. In this one, when it is matching, we are replacing. You see, we are replacing with the, when this Microsoft matches, we are replacing with the W3 schools. So come and practice. Perform a case instance to search. Okay, multi-line search. M I. U means enable correct matching. Exact. So regular expression patterns you have. Okay, ABC for for one or many characters are there inside the brackets. Okay, so I will give one example, and then you can actually come. text is w3schools.com, and then pattern is slash colon co, right? C and O, and then okay, the matching pattern. So what is the pattern? Here you are having hash. So those places we are actually CO places we want to CRO places we want to change it. Okay, these places it will actually change the particular hash. You see W3 yes, and then C is changed to hash, and then VOVO is changed to hash, and then space is changed to hash. Okay, so like that it will actually change. C dot and C and OM is are changed with hash. So pre replace. So this is the pattern which is changed. So you understand this. It is a little bit tricky, but you need to understand it and then match characters match. There are many parameters are there. So understand this and then you will be able to implement that in your PHP program. So that is the first video of PHP tutorial uh, on PHP introduction. Hope you are following, and my point is come to this tutorial and then use this w3schools.com to understand the concepts and repeatedly um go through these videos and chapters and understand, and then um familiarize with PHP concepts. In the next video, I will talk about PHP forms, and coming videos, I will talk about the rest of the topics. If you like this video, you can come back. You can comment and repeatedly come back and like, share, and subscribe. And also, there is an offer in our programming in mysys.com, and we are providing internship for the um, um, BTech first year, BTech students or BTech students BTech students are final year students are completed students, and we are offering 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year internship in the following roles: full stack developer, Python, PHP, Java, MySQL, JavaScript, CSS, C++, Java, and manual tester, affiliate marketer, digital marketer, UI developer, graphics designer, mobile app developer, game developer, research analyst for MBA, BBA students, and video ad creator or editor, social media marketer. There are many other roles also based on your requirement, and you will actually get a certificate from MySys IT Services OPT Limited as a intern, and we are offering this with a minimal price, that is 1 month internship is 1500 rupees, 3 months internship is 3500, and extension of 3500 for each quarter. And then you will get the opportunity to work in many projects, that is adrev.com, softrev.com, couponsnagar.com, couponsnagar.in, netchess and netbiz, netrummy.biz, which are upcoming projects, netbackgammon, netmorris, snakes ladders, that is also net snakes ladders, net checkers. There are Java projects available, also C projects available, which already code is available. Java you can work on from the scratch. Okay, and I will give a guidance for you to develop these projects and then get a development experience. If you want to build your career, come back to me in my LinkedIn portal. Come back to me my LinkedIn portal. Okay, and then uh, come back to me my LinkedIn portal, my profile. Okay, VMR, right? VMR, and VMR, and then uh, ping to me or connect to me to uh, work on the internship. Okay, so that is all. Thank you for joining, and